But I feel like at this age and like with all the media stuff, like we're so pressured to be like rich and like make it big all quick and stuff. Like, no, that doesn't happen. Like, you got to take your time, and you can't be comparing yourself to other people, because that's what I was doing. I kept comparing myself to my friends. Like, why is my friend has a better job than me, and we have the same school, we went to this and that, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're not going to be like everyone. Like, it's going to happen at your own pace. And I was in that thing. Like, all my friends had successful careers already. They had graduated. I graduated last, blah, blah, blah. But look at me now. Like, eventually I got out now, and I'm happy with what I'm doing. And, I mean, it goes for everybody as well.
And the main thing that I kind of took away from that is that you really don't even know what somebody else is going through, right? Because, like you said, your friends were graduated. They were successful, but on the back end, they were going through it too. They really felt lost as well. And I think about the song by Shawn Mendes, it's Hold On. He says, you know, I don't know what you're going through, but there's so much life ahead of you, and it won't slow down no matter what you do, so you just got to hold on.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. I'm your host, Matt, and today I got a very special guest. Man, she's super integral behind the Sorry Papi Tour. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, guys. I'm Jax. Like he said, I do the marketing and the coordination for the Sorry Papi Tour with V5 Group, and I have my own tie-dye business called Splax Tie-Dye. So I'm excited to talk about that today.
And she said, I'm not just V5, I'm Splax.
Yes, I'm a lot of things.
Yeah. And we're going to get into her story. I think that it's deep, especially like from what you told me, like the overall thing that you told me. And I was like, damn, like that's good.
My quarter life crisis.
Quarter life crisis. Because the problem is everybody always, they kind of look at what I send them and they're like, all right, I'm going with that. Purpose in life, damn, I'm going to do that. They don't give me too much detail. So I'm like, fuck, I got to figure out. You know how many times I've done purpose in life? I've taken a different turn on it. So.
Right. Well, I saw that and put my own spin on it. I was like, I did have a recent issue, so let's talk about that.
I like that. Before we get into it, guys, make sure you go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe, and definitely check out, the work that Jax is doing. Go ahead and talk about your role real quick. Talk about what you do with V5, how the Sorry Papi Tour came about, because I know you were very, integral in that.
Well, first I'm going to start with how I got into V5. So I wasn't really trying to be in the office and work in that type of environment with the marketing stuff. I honestly just wanted to be a bottle girl. So I started off like that. I met somebody that worked in it, and I was like, I want to be a bottle girl, blah, blah, blah. And then I got on the roster or whatever, but this is when COVID was really hot. So it never worked out because they kept closing and opening, closing and opening. So I was like, you know what, fuck this. So then I know a couple months passed by, I think maybe even a year, and I was in school for communications. So I was looking for a job in this field, and I found one on Indeed, and I applied, and I texted my friend. I'm like, hey, I applied for the thing that you guys had open. So I went in wanting to be a bottle girl, and I came out being a coordinator for the Sorry Papi Tour and in marketing for V5. And within that, I do a bunch of little things, and that's everybody in the company. You get one role, but you learn everything. They train you to know how to do everything. So, yeah.
So what have you learned, doing that type of work with them? Because I think that's very interesting, low-key, because everybody obviously thinks, we're just party, clubs, right? But talk about the behind the scenes.
For sure. So, yeah, people are when I tell them, I'm touring here, I'm going there, and obviously you look at my story, and it's just clubs and bottles and whatever. And they're like, but it's fun, you just party. No, they don't know all the freaking stress that goes behind that. There's only I don't want to say four. There's a bunch of core people in the Sorry Papi thing, but we're pulled in so many different directions and we're moving so fast, and they don't really know what's behind the scenes, I'm not just partying, I'm working my ass off during the week so that I could enjoy these events, and on top of it, I'm working the event. Mainly my role is I started doing the marketing for some Instagrams, so I was running their social media. So I was doing 7 restaurants, and then after I was doing those 7 restaurants, they brought me into V5 because V5 does the restaurants. So they brought me in, and then I was helping doing some marketing on the Instagram and, going into the events, taking content, making TikToks. That was my main thing, to make TikToks of the restaurants and the clubs. And then I guess eventually I worked my way up, and they gave me some roles in Sorry Papi, and then now I'm a coordinator.
So you were the one getting people caught up.
No, I was not. That's the photographers. No, my TikTok things were more so getting the experience. So I'd go when you go on TikTok and you look at what's fun, and people are doing a voiceover. Oh, you got to come to Bounce. It has this, and that. So that's pretty much what I was doing. I wasn't getting anybody caught up.
No.
Nah, I ain't no snitch.
Okay, so with the Sorry Papi Tour, right? How did that idea even, arise? Everybody's like, all girls, reggaeton night.
They already had the idea even before I started. So they were going to do this party pre-COVID. And then I guess it never happened or whatever. I don't know why. But then when I came in, that's when they were talking about doing it again. And it was never, not that it was never supposed to be this big, but we weren't planning on it to move this quickly and get so big so fast. It was just going to be like the Chicago one and maybe like a few other cities. But we got such positive feedback in Chicago that it just started exploding. But in the office, there's a lot of girls, surprisingly, which is great. Women empowerment. So with having a lot of girls, we all got a bunch of different roles. We're bringing all these ideas. We'd have like meetings, and we'd just like throw ideas here and there. And then we wrote all this stuff down, kept track of it. And, after a few, like maybe 3-4 like big meetings on the prep, then we started actually working on it. And that's when we did the Chicago tour, and it just blew up. And then from there, we're like, oh my God, we got to do it at all these cities. And then we just started booking cities left and right. So it's moving really fast. And girls like it because every time I meet like, vendors, people collaborating with us, anything that I meet with within that's not in Chicago, they're always like, oh, we love this. We've never seen anything like this. Girls want to do this because they go out and guys stare at them, blah, 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 hit on them. Or even some women, sadly, their husbands or mans don't let them go out. And in situations like this, they can. So every time I meet somebody, whether it be a guest or somebody we're working with, they tell us the same thing, that the reason that they see that this is so popular is because there's nothing like this out there. Mm-hmm. And we're like making a movement, which I agree. Mm-hmm. We are. Like when you're in there, like obviously you'll never know because you're a guy. But when you're in there, you could feel the girls like, they're like just happy and like they're comfortable and they're singing and they're wearing whatever the fuck they want. Like, it's amazing.
It seems like you have a lot of fun there, and just talking about it, the energy just comes off right away.
I'm proud of it. Like, it's something I can say I'm proud of. When people ask me what I do, I love talking about it because it's different. And I hope it gets even bigger and better, and we're hoping to onboard different things to not just make it a party, make it like a real like women empowerment.
An empowerment movement.
A movement, some type of movement. We want to add more things. We want to donate to things, maybe even create our own cause, something like that for women. So.
You guys got big plans in mind.
We do it. So it hasn't even been like 6 months. I want to say it started like 6 months ago, like the planning.
But the first event was in like April. March or April. Yeah, April. There you go.
April 8th. Mm-hmm.
See, she's got it down.
I know everything.
She knows
everything.
The date and everything.
So if I bring my laptop out, I'd tell you all the facts.
So what does this symbolize for you? For you personally, what does, the tour symbolize?
I think it symbolizes women empowerment, I guess. I guess when you say that, you'd be like, what is a party symbolizing women empowerment? Mm-hmm. I think it just, when you, like I tell you, when you go there, you feel the girls happy and comfortable. And it's a complete different vibe from when you go to like a party with women and men. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I guess I like to see these women feel empowered and feel happy and meet other girls. Like, how girls are so nasty with each other sometimes, fighting over guys.
Have there been any fights?
No, thank God. And if there is a fight, we have like a protocol, how we're going to handle it and everything. But that is not what we want. We want girls to be friends, to be happy. Like, even in the comments, girls are like, oh, I don't have anybody going with who wants to meet up with me. And they'll make friends in the comments of our posts and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, no fights. No fights yet. That's not what we want.
Hey, the photographer, videographer, they need to get that on camera if it happens.
Oh, by the way, our videographer is amazing.
Chico?
No, it's a girl. Her name is Sachelle. Okay. Shout out to Sachelle. She's so good.
Did she just start with you guys, like, for the tour?
No, again, I'm still rather new with V5. So she started way before me. So I just met her. Uh-huh.
And let's move on from the tour, right?
Yeah, for sure. What else?
With the Splax. And go ahead and talk about that venture and how it all started.
Cool. Okay, so one time it was during the quarantine. Everybody was looking for a new hobby, right? So I picked up a tie-dye kit, and I was just like playing with, random shirts or whatever. And I made like this super cool design. And I put it on my story on my personal Instagram, and I was like, if I start selling these, will you guys buy them? I did a poll, and then obviously I got positive feedback because the shirt was cool. And then from there, I just started like making little shirts for my friends. I wasn't charging them or anything. Like, I would just send it to them, and I'd be like, oh, post it on your story, say that you got it from me or whatever. And this was around the time when everybody was supporting small businesses, which which they still are, but back then during COVID, everybody was like a small business owner. So like people were supporting. So everyone would message me, oh, let me get one. Let me get this color, blah, 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 blah. Mostly girls, like my friends and stuff. So I just started getting a shit ton of orders, and I wasn't expecting that. So I was doing that, and I'm like, okay, I need to make my own profile, like my own Instagram for this. So I made one, and I had my first photo shoot with my friend Jimmy and my other model friends. And I made like some super cool designs. I set it up all perfectly. I rented a Pure Space, you know how you could rent them, in a super cool studio. I did a photo shoot, and I released like a collection on my Instagram. And from there, it just picked up.
Honestly, that's really dope, especially because, you know, you received that initial support.
I'm lucky to say that I did have a lot of people supporting me. And that definitely helped me grow to people that I didn't know. Because obviously it was a lot of people that I did know that were ordering from me. And then, but, you know, with them sharing, their followers saw my stuff. Then those people reached out to me, and same with anyone else. Like, I was just multiplying quickly. And I noticed it was a lot of parents asking, oh, do you have kid stuff? So then I started doing kid stuff. So yeah, it's fun tie-dyeing. It's fun, like, you know, learning how to do the design, painting it, and then opening it, and you're like, wow, I can't believe I made that.
So you know how to actually get the design of.
I did everything by myself. Yeah. And keep in mind, I did not have a studio. I did this in my freaking house, in my kitchen. And I would run to my kitchen, then to my washing machine, then to my room. Like, it was a hot mess in my house all the time. There was paint everywhere. I was making a mess. My fingers were always dyed. But it was a lot of fun. And I did a shit ton of pop-ups too. That's how I met Equan and Lewis. And it was just fun to be with all these artists, you know. Like, when I did my first pop-up, it was so fun because, like, I got to meet all these people. I did a bunch of collaborations. And it's fun to just meet talent and art and mix it together and see what you guys could create. It's a lot of fun.
What did it mean to you to be an artist?
Honestly, never considered myself an artist. So I didn't even think I was one till one of my friends told me. They're like, oh, you're like an artist. I'm like, no, I'm not. And I realized, wait, I'm using paint and I'm like making stuff with my hands, so I am an artist. So it felt good to be able to call myself that, because, you know, I've always wanted to be like artsy or whatever, and I guess that helped me bring it out.
That's definitely one of those things you never even realize, that, you know, once you start something and it's considered art, you're like, damn, like, I did that shit, you know. That's how I felt a lot of the times when I started this shit. I was like, when you know, from 1 episode, 2 episode, 3 episode, and I was like, I'm not an artist yet. It'll come, but not yet.
No, you are from the beginning.
It depends. You know, those first 3 were a little rough. Those first, like, 10 episodes were a little rough.
It's because you never know what you're going to get. Like, you get somebody that talks a lot. You get someone that doesn't talk at all.
I mean, let's get into the nitty gritty, right? Now we've hit the business side of you. Let's get into the personal side of you, right?
For sure.
What you had told me was you had that quarter life crisis, right? That it kind of made you switch your careers. And the first song that came to mind for me was by Usher. It's called Looking for Myself. In the chorus, he says, I said, I'm looking for myself, and I still can't find me. That's why I'm looking for myself. Who am I? Someone remind me.
Oh, wow. Can you sing it?
Can I sing it? No. Can you sing it? I'll let you hear the song and repeat it. Nah, that's one of my favorite songs. I heard it when I was like 14.
I probably know it, but I don't know it if, like, I don't hear the tone. That's why I asked you to sing it.
Do you listen to Usher like that?
Well, just like the basic songs, like Let It Burn and shit.
No. See, it's not one of those basic ones. It's in the deep cuts. But when I thought about the song, right, it's, you know, I'm looking for myself. Who am I? Someone remind me. And a lot of the times we lose ourselves. You know, chasing something, chasing someone. Even like a career. You go into a career that you were passionate about, but over time you just kind of lose that feeling. And as you lose that feeling, you're like, damn, who am I? Someone remind me. So go ahead and talk about that a little bit.
I mentioned it in the beginning, I think, that I was a teacher for a while. So I was going to UIC, and right down the street there was a school, and my friend was working there, and she's like, you should apply. And I wanted a job that was close to school, right? So it was a school. It was a Montessori school. I don't know if you know what that is.
My mom works for one.
Oh, she does. It's amazing. I love Montessori. I would totally recommend it to anybody who has kids. But yeah, anyway, so I was doing that and I loved it. Like, I love little kids. They're like the cutest. I was like the best teacher. not to toot my own horn.
Number
but
one teacher out here or what?
I was like I was a good teacher, you know, and it was fun. I genuinely love kids. Like I loved being around them. I'd have a sad day and I'd go to work and they'd just cheer me up immediately. Of course, they were annoying as fuck sometimes, like pissing and shitting everywhere. But I love them. They're super sweet at the end of the day. So I enjoyed teaching. I left because the pay was terrible. Private schools pay terribly, especially in Chicago. So, and it was right in Wicker Park. So
Which one was it?
Guidepost Montessori.
Oh,
It's in front of Big Star,
okay.
right off Damon, the train.
Okay, my mom, she works at Near North.
Oh, there was always a competition with Near North and Guidepost. Always. Yeah, all the teachers from Guidepost went to Near North because that was a terrible school,
Damn.
pay-wise. I loved it. I left because of that, and then I finished school, so it wasn't even convenient for me to be over there since I live in the suburbs. So then I moved to a school that was close to home, and it was a middle school. And let me tell you, middle schoolers, they are something else.
I like middle school.
No, I cannot.
Middle school is so much better than the little kids because the little kids don't listen because they don't know how to listen.
Middle schoolers aren't any better.
The middle schoolers don't listen because they don't want to listen.
Right. That's true.
You can reason with them though.
No, you can reason with the little ones. Like they'll love you right after you yell at them or you have a problem with them, and they get over things right away. The middle schooler, no, they'll hold it against you forever and they'll make your freaking life hell. That was how mine was, my experience at least. So I don't know if it's because of how young I look, because I didn't wear makeup any day to that school. I didn't care how I looked. Like I was wearing my glasses, makeup. Nowadays middle schoolers are like 6 feet tall, so like I was small, right? So like I don't know if they didn't take me serious or what it was, but I was a teacher's aide, by the way. I wasn't like a teacher. So it was just bad. Like the boys were moaning all day long. Like, the girls would fight about the stupidest shit, like, talking about boys. This one girl came up to me. She's like, oh, my God, I kissed my boyfriend 6 times today. And I was like, wow. Like, I don't even know how to respond to these things. Wow. And I feel like they felt like I was more of a friend than a teacher because they were telling me inappropriate things. Like, I would carry a satchel with me all the time because I had my shit in there. And this kid was like, well, you got a Glock in there? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this is not how you speak to a teacher. And they would just talk back. And I don't know if it was that age group that really geared me to get out of the education system, but it definitely helped. But anyway, back to my quarter life crisis. So I was just, I was in the school and I was still doing the Splax stuff around this time, but I was just like, is this really what I want to do? Like, I didn't really want to do that. Got my major in communication and my minor in psychology. It had nothing to do with what I was doing at the school. So like every day I'd be upset in the direction I took my life in. Like, I was like, am I ever going to get out of this school? Am I ever going to get out of the education system? Like, I always wanted to work in marketing and something fun like what I'm doing now. And I didn't have the right resources. I didn't know what to do. Like, I was applying and I wasn't getting anything back. I applied to like 10 different places. I only heard back from like 2 and I didn't get the job. And it was weird for me because I always got the job when I applied somewhere because it was places that didn't require like, degrees or whatever. And just not getting the jobs that I was applying for really sucked. And it was really making me feel like shit. And again, like I said, I got the right connections and I got this job and everything completely turned around for me. So I'm really glad that happened because it was a tough 6 months. Like, I was sad I wouldn't say I was depressed, but I was going through it, I was gaining all this weight. It was just a bad time. But I'm glad where I'm at now, and it was hard, but so that's for anybody going through something like this. Just know you're gonna get out. I know it's annoying for people to tell you it'll get better, but it will. Everything gets better with time. But you gotta try. You can't just sit there and not do shit. Like, you gotta try.
I always say that shit, that time heals all wounds. And that's the funny thing that you mentioned that, right, is because I seen someone on TikTok, somebody that I had known, and they mentioned that after you get out of college and you apply to all these jobs every single day and you don't get the job, it's like, fuck, like, what's going on? And I don't know, I lucked out because that was me. I was in that position where I was applying to jobs every single day and none of them were calling me back until one school calls me back for CPS and they're like, you could just be a sub. And that's literally like what I do now, but I'm gonna be fucking jobless for like 3 weeks now.
Oh, wow. Because of summer? Oh, that's right.
Yeah, there's no summer school, no I'm starting a program with After School Matters, but that's in like July. So.
Wait, so you do middle school? Is that why you like
I do high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do freshman.
See, that's different.
No.
That 1 year makes a difference.
Freshmen are worse than middle schoolers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, freshmen are worse than middle schoolers.
Why? Because they think they're shit because they're in high school?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about it right now. What I wanted to ask you was, do you feel fulfilled now about the position that you're in?
Yes. Wow. I can happily say yes. Because everything that I've wanted, oh my God, this sounds so like spoiled, but everything that I've wanted to happen has been happening to me. It's kind of like too good to be true, which I'm really happy and I'm really grateful about. And, I don't want to say I'm just lucky. Like, I did work for where I'm at now, and I went to school. I went through all these trials and tribulations before, and I would say that I am fulfilled. Obviously, I want more. I'm not saying that I want to stop here and I'm comfortable here. Like, I'm going to keep working till I get more and higher and better. But for the age that I'm at now, the experience that I've had, and my happiness overall, I feel good where I'm at now. Mm-hmm. And I hope it stays that way. And I hope I keep getting better.
So then what do you hope to accomplish?
See, that's a loaded question. I think about that sometimes. I'm like, what do I really like? What is my ultimate goal? And I honestly don't know. I don't know. I kind of I'm going with the flow right now. I'm learning as much as I can. I'm networking with as many people as I can. Obviously, I want to stay in the same field. But I would like to work on this in a bigger scale. And I feel like Sorry Papi is definitely taking me there. And I'm really grateful for everybody that I've been working with.
She is trained, bro. She's trained on this talking thing.
What do you mean? This is my third podcast. I have some experience.
She said, I hope I'm experienced enough.
Well, at first I was freaking out.
Damn. Why were you freaking out?
I don't know. I mean, we've never really met, so I didn't really know what to expect from you. So we only met one time.
Yeah, one time, and it was random.
I know. I didn't even know you were going to be there.
I mean, honestly, it's not that bad being on here. I feel like everybody ends up like opening up eventually. It's just how do you get them to open up, right? With that being said, you mentioned feeling or the question of are you fulfilled being so loaded, and why or why not, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that you mentioned a good point with that you're satisfied, but you don't want to get complacent, right? And that's kind of the position that I've fallen into at this point. It's like, I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm happy with the job that I have, but it's like, okay, how do I take this to the next level? Because that's always the goal, right? It's only to get better each day. You got to be better than the person you were the day before. And yeah, that's just kind of like the issue that I'm finding. It's like, fuck, like, how do I get there?
I feel like my best advice would be do what you truly love. Stay true to it, and just keep working on it, I guess. Because I don't really know what it is exactly that you want to do. Mm-hmm. So how am I supposed to answer that if you don't tell me? Thanks. So tell me.
I think that I just want this to become national, like a national thing. And I've definitely, I've interviewed the right people to bring attention to it from out of Chicago, out of the States. But it's like, how do you get people to care about it when they don't really know who the fuck you are? It's a weird thing to think about, right? So let's take V5 for an example, right? V5 New York didn't just blow up overnight. They started that shit before the pandemic started, and then the pandemic shut it down, and then they restarted it back up. But at that point, people knew who they were somewhat. So it's always that beginning stages. It's like, damn, like, how do I get people to notice me before it blows up?
I mean, you're doing pretty well now. You're growing pretty quickly from what I looked at. I've been examining your page before I came on here.
Yeah, what you learned?
I learned that every day that I go on, your numbers go up higher, and you're getting more and more people to come on. Like when you guys said that you had however many, I don't know if I could say that number, but however many podcasts that you've done, like that was shocking to me. That's a lot for just a year. Yeah. That's dedication. You're doing at least once a week, So like that's a lot. Like looking for the right people. Having those people be on board with you, creating the right questions, the right banter, whatever. Like, you're already doing an amazing job for just a year. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you're doing this good now, it's just going to get better, And I'm sure that it will get national. And you can even incorporate your work now, like a sub. Like, if you get the adults once they graduate and stuff, you can talk to one of the high schoolers that has something going for them in the music industry or the entertainment industry, and you could get it from a different perspective, not from somebody that's already in it, but that's somebody that's trying to get to it. I feel like having those different types of personalities would really help you blow up.
Yeah, I have the kids promote for me, low key.
Yeah, there we go. That's the best type because they're young. Like, I don't know if you guys, I mean, it's sad to say. No, it's not sad to say. But, like, TikTok is, like, these kids' best friend. Like, that's, like, your gateway to, like, grow. So, like, if they help you promote there and then, like, tell you, do they call you Mr. what?
Alvarez.
Mr. Alvarez, you got to do this trend. Mr. Alvarez, you got to do this. You got to do that.
I can't do all that dancing shit.
No, don't dance. There's other stuff you could do.
Well, what do you think is, like, the good TikTok stuff to be doing?
Oh, for you?
For me, in general, other than, like, the dancing shit, right?
Well, you know, from what I've been doing in my job, I had to learn so much about TikTok. It's all about your, like, hashtags, the time you post it, and the audios that you use. So you could pop up on that person's For You page or whatever. You know, you just got to be really strategic about it. But as far as, like, stuff you should do, shit, I don't know. You know what? Humor sells. You got to do some funny stuff. Do you follow this person named Zeth?
Zeth?
He's a podcaster.
No.
But with his daughter.
Oh, I know what you're talking
he has,
about.
like,
Yeah, I
curly,
know what you're
crazy
talking about.
hair.
Yeah.
You guys give me the same vibe. If you bring a kid on here, I feel like it would be so great. It would be so, because kids say the stupidest things.
So
So,
go
like,
get
again,
you a kid.
what's up?
She's like, go get you a kid.
Find a child in the street. You want to be in a podcast? It would be great. That's just one thing I can recommend.
Interesting idea. But anyways, let's go back, right? Let's go back to your quarter life crisis. What would you say to somebody who is going through that, right? You kind of said, like, you know, get through it. It's going to be okay. But what advice would you have for them?
Oh my God. I guess it sounds so cliche, but just, again, keep working towards it. You're going to get out. Like, I remember sometimes I just lay in my bed and I wouldn't want to get up because I was so unmotivated. Like, you just got to get the fuck up. Like, seriously, you got to get up. You got to find out what it is you really want to do, and you got to work towards it. You can't just, like, give up, you know. You got to work. You have to look. You're going to get shot down a shit ton of times, but eventually it'll happen for you. You know, you got to step out of your comfort zone. Like, I feel like one time, like I said, I got comfortable and I wasn't really looking, and that was really affecting me. And, you know, just a bunch of stuff coming along, but you really just have to step out of your comfort zone. It's really hard, but eventually you'll get out. And from what I've heard from all my friends that are around my age, we're all been going through it. Like, it's a thing. Like, it sounds funny, quarter life crisis, because midlife crisis is what's the most popular, but it really does happen. Because at this age, you're like, I'm too old to be living at home, or I'm too young to be doing this or that, you know? You're not. Everyone goes at their own pace. But I feel like at this age and, like, with all the media stuff, like, we're so pressured to be, like, rich and, like, make it big all quick and stuff. Like, no, that doesn't happen. Like, you got to take your time, and you can't be comparing yourself to other people, because that's what I was doing. I kept comparing myself to my friends. Like, why is my friend has a better job than me, and we have the same school, we went to this and that, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're not going to be like everyone. Like, it's going to happen at your own pace. And I was in that thing. Like, all my friends had successful careers already. They had graduated. I graduated last, blah, blah, blah. But look at me now. Like, eventually I got out now, and I'm happy with what I'm doing. And, I mean, it goes for everybody as well.
And the main thing that I kind of took away from that is that you really don't even know what somebody else is going through, right? Because, like you said, your friends were graduated. They were successful, but on the back end, they were going through it too. They really felt lost as well. And I think about the song by Shawn Mendes, it's Hold On. He says, you know, I don't know what you're going through, but there's so much life ahead of you, and it won't slow down no matter what you do, so you just got to hold on.
Oh, that's cute. It's nice, though.
Yeah, no, it definitely is nice. That's another one of those songs that I heard when I was like 15, 16. And like I said, at the end of the day, you really don't know what people are going through. You just got to keep holding on, and, you know, nobody knows what you're going through. Everybody can say, oh, you're going to be okay, you're going to be okay, you're going to be okay. But on the inside, I might be fucking dying, and nobody else can help me save that empty feeling. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely glad you pulled yourself out of that, because I really appreciate your energy, and just, like, you seem like you're doing so well now. Like, where are you now?
I'm where I want to be, honestly. So I'm really happy about it. But
what is where you want to be, though?
I'm comfortable at my age. I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. I feel like I'm good at it, but I feel like I'm still learning. Like, I feel good. And I haven't been able to say that in a long time, since I was like freaking 15. So like yeah. I mean, I was fine all those other 10 years, but I'm saying like to be like this confident in what I'm doing and like where I'm at, like it feels good, you know. But I'm hoping it gets even better. Sometimes I get scared because I'm like, oh my God, it's too good to be true. I'm like, what's going to happen? Something's bad going to happen. But I need to get out of the mindset.
You're afraid to lose your happiness.
Yes, I'm scared, but I'm trying not to think about that. I'm trying to be optimistic.
Where do you think that feeling comes from for you?
Just from like things in the past, like things going good and all of a sudden going to shit. Like it's inevitable, but you know.
Can you give us like an example?
An example? Like things going good and then they went bad?
Well, something like that. Because, you know, I have that feeling too. Like I used to always feel like, damn, like this isn't real. Like there's definitely a ploy here. You know what I'm saying? Or like something's going to go wrong. I used to always say that, like, I was afraid to say I'm happy because once I say I'm happy, like shit's just gonna go downhill.
Right. That's how I feel. This is a silly example because I can't think of one under pressure right now. But for example, like when I worked at the school, like they were like, "Oh, we're gonna get you a raise soon." You don't do that. You tell me you give me a raise and give it to me right there. Like they told me I'm gonna get one soon, so I got so excited. I told my parents, not my friends, but whatever. I was just excited. I was making all these new plans or whatever. My salary was gonna change, and I never got it. You know, and I kept saying, oh, I should have never said anything, blah blah blah. I should have just kept my mouth shut. Somebody gave me evil eye, whatever. And then yeah, so like that was just my reasoning behind it. So I was kind of just after. I've had other examples, but I'm telling you I can't think of them right now because I'm under pressure. But after that, I kind of just would keep my mouth shut when I had like really good opportunities and wait for them to actually happen. So like when I got this job, like when I got the call talking about, oh, we want to hire you, whatever, I didn't tell anybody. I was just like, okay, let me wait till my next interview. Let me wait until I sign the papers or whatever. So nothing bad will happen. And I did, and I didn't tell anybody until I actually did get it. So I kind of just don't want to get myself overly excited for things now. I just kind of wait till they actually happen.
Definitely was hurt somewhere along the way.
The what?
Definitely was hurt somewhere along the way.
Yeah. Oh, who wasn't? Everybody was hurt.
It'd be like that sometimes. What do you feel like is the biggest lesson you've learned, you know, coming out of that quarter life crisis, or not even quarter life crisis, but like you said, you've been feeling that way since you were 15. Just coming.
Oh no, I wasn't.
Well, not like that, but like you haven't been able to say that you were as happy as you are now since like you were 15.
Oh, okay.
So coming from that, you know, what do you feel like is the biggest lesson you've learned over the years?
I feel like, in my experience, you need to stop blaming other people for not getting where you want to get. The only person that's gonna get you there is you.
That was a good one, and I recently saw that on it was this one guy. He has a podcast. His name's Frankie Fabre, and he says that when it comes to relationships, any type of relationship, I don't have expectations for people. I have expectations for myself. You should have expectations for yourself. And if I expect something from you, I'm going to be disappointed because you can't meet my expectations. But if I meet my expectations of treating you like a person, treating you with good intentions, then I hope that you do the same for me, but I'm not going to expect it. You know what I'm saying?
That was good to hear.
It was powerful.
It is, because you shouldn't, you know? Because people are going to let you down at the end of the day. So, like, I mean, not necessarily, not everybody, but definitely.
Someone else told me that, actually. This one girl, she had told me, she's like, I don't trust people. She said something like, I don't trust people because people are going to let you down anyways.
Well, going off to that, I don't mean it like that.
What she had told me, she's like, not that I don't trust people, but everybody's going to hurt you. It's just you choose who you let to hurt you.
Right. Okay, that's better. But to the people out there that are like, I don't trust nobody, I don't have no friends, maybe you're the problem. Like, if you have no friends and you don't trust anybody, like, okay, we've all been through situations like that or whatever, but like you gotta know who to pick to be your friend or to be your boyfriend or whatever. So like I don't want to say that everyone will always let you down, you know. It also, you have a great role in a relationship. A relationship isn't one person, it's two. So like to people saying that, like you have to try too. You can't always expect the other person, you know. It goes both ways.
I saw some TikTok that said it's not 50-50, it's 100-100.
Oh, shit. That is true.
But with that being said, you know, the lesson that you said, what was the lesson you said again?
Oh, it was a good one. I said that you need to stop blaming other people for not making it where you want to be, because the only person that's gonna get you there is you. Period.
How have you implemented that in your life?
I mean, pretty much just how I'm saying it. Like, I would blame people here and there for not getting where I want to be, but it's your fault, you know? I mean, it's not 100% your fault. Things happen or whatever, but you can't let that stuff get in the way and can't be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I couldn't because this happened. Blah, 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 blah. No, you do it.
Me in the gym.
That is me in the gym right now. Like, I was telling you, like, I need to go to the gym. And I'm always, like, blaming shit. I'm like, oh, I couldn't because I had to hang out with my friend. Oh, I didn't because I ate pasta today. Like, no. If I really want to go, I'll go.
That's the point I'm at, is that, like, because I went and drank so much, I'm like, fuck, like, I need to hit the gym. But then I drink again, and I'm like, fuck, it doesn't even matter if I go to the gym, because I'm just going to keep drinking.
Right. No. You can still work out a lot and drink. You'll be fine.
I don't know how people do it. Like, people that stay in good shape and go out every week and drink, because drinking is like the worst thing you could do to your body.
This is my biggest problem. So, like, I drink, obviously. I work in the clubs. I drink, I don't want to say a lot, but I drink like 3 times a week at least. And when I'm hungover, like, I don't want to do anything. Like, that's my excuse. I'm always like, sorry guys, I'm hungover. Or like, I eat like shit. I'll drink Coke. Like, I shouldn't be drinking Coke on the regular, but I'm hungover and it just hits so good. And like, I feel so mad at myself the next day when I'm not hungover, because I was so unproductive. I didn't get this done. I didn't get that done.
You feel gross.
I feel disgusting. But by the way, I don't wake up hungover all the time, because I have a secret remedy when I drink. This is what I do.
You're gonna have to pass that secret remedy
I'll tell
over.
you guys right now. So what I do, I only drink tequila sodas with lime, because the soda keeps me hydrated. And then I'll drink a bunch of water bottles before I go to sleep. And I drink this morning recovery thing that you can get at the gas station, and I chug that before I go to sleep. And then I smoke, and then I wake up great.
You smoke before you go to sleep, and you still wake up fine?
Yes.
That, like, dehydrates you.
I smoke, not cigarettes.
I know, but still, like, just smoking in general.
Well, that's why you drink all the water. All the sodas, tequila sodas, just water.
All right, guys, just go to sleep drinking water. Water.
No,
Leave
trust
it at
me,
water.
it helps. All those things help. Well, for me at least.
Yeah.
But if I don't do this routine, I'll wake up feeling like shit.
You want to know why that probably happens?
Why?
Because you probably are too fucked up to finish the routine, so you didn't drink any water, so you just went to sleep.
Probably. I forgot, you know. But like, what? Oh my gosh, I sound like a drunk. But when I drink, I don't get trashed every single time, you know. But like I have like 4 drinks, then I'm like, oh shit. Then I have to. After 4 drinks, then I'm drunk.
It'd be like that. It's tough out here.
Yeah, but I can pace myself, all right?
Let's get back to it, right? Real quick. With that feeling of loneliness, it really instills like this feeling of being scared to be alone, kind of, right? And for me, I kind of feel like sometimes I want to be alone, and I'm like, man, fuck everybody. And then sometimes I'm just kind of like, damn, like, let me go find somebody just to fucking like ease the feeling, right? I mentioned that because I wanted to ask you, what do you feel like is your biggest fear?
Dying.
Dying? Why dying?
I don't want to die, and I don't want.
But nobody wants to die.
I don't know why I feel like I'm gonna die in a car accident. I don't know why. I just feel it, and it
Do
scares me.
you get in the
I've
car
gotten
with people
one.
who are drinking?
No, not because of that. Because I got in a bad car accident. Not very bad, but I hit the person, and I was so scared, and that's when my quarter life crisis started.
Because you hit somebody?
Yeah. They were fine though. I T-boned them, and the car flipped.
Wait, what? The car flipped?
It flipped over once.
Your car?
No,
or the other car?
other person's car. So
Damn,
that's where my
how fast were you going?
I was only going like 30, but
No
the other
fucking
one had to
way.
be going like 32.
No way.
Okay, maybe 40. I don't know. But back to my biggest fear. Okay, if it's not dying, nobody wants to die. Probably drowning.
Drowning?
Being on. I don't know. Why does
Just
everything have to do with
Just
death?
dying.
I
You're
don't
just
think
afraid to die. It's like, is it just dying? The idea of dying? The idea of like leaving nothing behind, like a legacy, or like?
No, just like dying. I don't like fuck the legacy stuff. I just don't want to
No,
die.
no, not fuck the legacy stuff. I want that shit. If I die, I'm like, hey, remember me.
I think it's not knowing what's gonna happen next, because like I don't want to get all religious or whatever, but yeah, I believe in God and stuff, but like I don't know about heaven and all that stuff. Like I don't really know. I don't really know where you go after, you know. Like, okay, if I go to like heaven, like am I gonna be there forever? Like what is forever when you die? Or you just die and there's nothing left. You die, you just die. I think that you die and then you reincarnate to another person. And I think that's what deja vu is. That's my theory. But like I said, I'm not religious, so don't quote me on any of this shit. That's just what I think.
My thing is, like, with the idea and talk of death at this point, and not to, like, tell you, like, oh, like, it doesn't matter, right? I've talked about it so much, especially, like, recently, because with Equan's episode, we talked about his grandma who just recently died. And rest in peace, Equan's grandma. And then I told him about my 2 grandmas who had died last year. That's all good. Rest in peace, them, right? And it's just, like, I'm like, death doesn't really, like, scare me, I guess. You know, I have thought about it. Like, when I was younger, I was like, damn, what if I, like, did not survive that? Like, one time I was on the train tracks, right? And my homies had gotten off at one spot. And I was like, man, this is going to be the faster way home. So I ran down, right? A train is literally coming, and I didn't see it. So I was probably like a second or two away from getting hit by that fucking train, and nobody would have ever known.
Oh my
god! It would have just been a wrap. So I was like, damn. I think back to that, like, a moment like that. I'm like, damn, I really survived that shit.
Well, I'm glad you're okay.
My biggest fear used to be the dentist.
Oh,
I hated the dentist.
Why?
Because when I was little, I was in preschool, and they pulled out 2 of my 2 front teeth.
Why your 2 front teeth? These 2?
Yeah, these 2. I had a fucking cavity on one, and then the other one got infected. So they pulled out my 2 front teeth. And then the next week, I had to go back and get, like, 4 fillings. And that's when they were, like, drilling my shit.
And you were how old?
Like 4.
Okay, that's traumatizing. As a child.
It was rough out here.
Well, I myself had a really hard time with my teeth. Now they're perfect, I'm glad to say. But
literally perfect.
Thank you. I'm going to tell you guys a story that you're not going to believe it. So at 13 years old, only 8 of my teeth naturally came out, which were these 4 and the bottom 4. So I was 13 years old, and I still had all my fucking baby teeth. And I needed braces because these were crooked. So they pulled out, guess how many teeth? 16.
Damn.
This was all in one surgery. 16 teeth. They put the little nose thing to numb me or whatever. So I was high as hell there.
So you had, like, no teeth in your mouth.
The only teeth I had were these 2 molars, these 2, these 4, and
Oh,
these
your
4.
ass was
I only
looking
had 12.
bogus.
I was ugly at 13.
Oh, you were
at
looking
13.
bogus.
And I went to Roosevelt Middle School in Bellwood. So you can imagine how that was for me. So I was skinny, tiny, little frizzy-haired, no teeth, having ass girl. And
they definitely did your ass.
Yeah. And I would wear K-Swiss, and you guys know that song. Oh shit, look at that bitch. That bitch got on K-Swiss. They were singing that song to me. I was traumatized. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't have no teeth, and to top it off, they weren't coming down. So they had to cut my gums. So they cut my gums, and this is another surgery. So I had, like, white up here. And then they put this, I already had my braces on, by the way. And they put the little bracket up here where the gum was cut. And my teeth literally came down in one night. It was the worst night of my life. I had, like, 103 fever. I couldn't sleep, nothing. I couldn't eat for, like, weeks. So it was a hard time. But it's worth it now. And this was all at 13, 14 years old.
You win every, like, bad teeth horror story ever.
Yes. Pulled out, gums cut, everything. And to top it off, when I was, like, in 4th grade, I had this thing called the separator because I had an overbite. I was like this. And they put, like, this weird thing on top of my mouth, and I had to get it tightened every week. So my mouth cost a lot. My teeth.
My mouth cost a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot of money. The insurance don't cover all that.
she said.
Yeah.
Hey, you see this?
And now I got, like, these cool little gems.
She said this shit costs like $50K.
I
Probably
know.
more than your
Probably more than
your whole
grills
fit,
and
your
yeah.
whole life. All right, so the last question I have for you, right? Because you went through that quarter life crisis, you know, looking for myself. Man, actually, you know what? I'm gonna change the question. Looking for myself, right? What did you find out about yourself?
I learned a lot about myself. I guess one of the biggest learning lessons I had was sometimes I feel like I conform a lot, and I'm very, like, easygoing. Like, if you say, oh, do you like this? And I don't like it, I'll be like, yeah, it looks great. Like, I voice my opinion when I have to, of course, but sometimes I feel like I'm too nice. So one thing that I learned about myself and I'm still working on is that I need to be more vocal about when I don't agree with something or when I don't like how something is, or I need to be more open about that stuff, and I need to I don't want to say I'm a pushover because I'm not, but sometimes I can be a little, I don't voice my opinion as much as I should. So I guess that's one thing I learned about myself. I didn't really know about that about myself. I would make up excuses. I'm like, no, this, no, that. But I definitely have learned that I am that type of person, and I'm trying not to be. I need to be more hard, more assertive.
That's definitely a good one. I just feel like those times, like those moments of reflection, you do learn about, you do learn a lot about yourself, right? And sometimes it's stuff that you don't want to like face.
Right.
Like,
I never want to admit it. I never wanted to admit that I'm like a pussy sometimes. So yeah. It'd be like that. But now I'm happy. I can say it. I can embrace it, and I can say that I'm working on it.
Well, I really appreciate you coming through. I really appreciate the energy. Like I said, man, this shit made me comfortable. Like I said, the past 3 I've just been fucking up, couldn't talk, and this one was just nice and easy.
Well, I'm glad that we could, have a good flow of conversation. You made me feel really comfortable as well. I didn't feel weird or like I didn't feel awkward. Like it was natural.
All right, guys, that's gonna be all for today. Make sure you go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Sad Boys for real. Peace out.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
Broken pieces, who's to blame?